All right, guys, how's it going? So we're going to talk about the, possible next manager of Liverpool Football Club. It's been a few days since we've done that. It's the international break. Things are a bit meh when it's like that. So I'm a bit bored and not really enthusiastic about things at the moment. We're certainly not international football. So I've been, just doing my own thing the last couple of days, taking care of business, you know what I'm saying? But here I am. And I thought we'd just have a quick look at the current situation. Now, to be honest with you, in terms of credible chatter, there hasn't been any in the last few days. I haven't been around, churning out content or whatever because it's fucking dead, and I've been busy. But I still monitor everything, and my phone is never out of my hand. So there hasn't been anything credible at all, to be honest with you, that's worth paying attention to. Richard Hughes, has signed his Liverpool contract, but those of you that follow this channel, if you watch Fabrizio Knows It Allio, he put a video out on this channel 6 days ago telling you just that. Now, Fabrizio Knows It Allio, right, the long-lost cousin of Fabrizio Romano, Mo Salah! Some people won't understand why I shout that. You should pay attention to the videos that are uploaded on here. If you see that thumbnail, you shouldn't go, it's not Big Dunk, don't need to listen to that. Because really, it is Big Dunk. You know what I mean? There might be a reason why Fabrizio Knows It Allio puts in an appearance. Now go back 6 days. Go back 6 days, a week, whatever it is, and watch what he had to say in that video. Telling you, DKB, right? Dunk knows best. So, Richard Hughes is in position, if you like, taking care of things. He signed the paperwork and all that, right? And it's all out there. So that's happened while I've been chilling. Now, one thing I came to notice was that Richard Hughes likes De Zerbi. He likes De Zerbi, and he's tried to appoint him as a manager before. Now, it says here, if it wasn't for a delayed takeover at Bournemouth, the Italian was lined up to replace Scott Parker in August 2022. So that's something that you might want to take into consideration, and it could explain why De Zerbi is so short in the betting and has remained within that betting, in the betting market for some time. At one time, he was the second favourite to be the next Liverpool manager. Obviously, Xabi Alonso, the favourite, and a very short one at that. But I think with football betting, as I've said many times before, many people bet with their heart and not their head. So there'll be a lot of people backing Alonso because they want it to happen, right? So as we saw, or we've seen previously with managerial situations when Brendan Rodgers was, Brendan Rodgers was not the favourite to be the Liverpool manager at the time. He was second favourite. Was it Roberto Martinez? I don't think I've got any of that information here. But if you remember, I made a lot of videos at the time. Roberto Martinez was the short favourite, and there was a picture of him walking down a street having a coffee with John Henry. So you can understand why a lot of people thought he'd got the job. This was in America. I can't remember where it was. I don't know if it was Boston, Miami, wherever. I can't remember at the time. But there is a very famous picture of them. And at the time, I was making videos saying, Brendan Rodgers, it'll be Brendan Rodgers. And I put money on Brendan Rodgers and uploaded the videos. And people are like, why are you doing that? He's not going to get it. And he did. And so I look at the betting now, and you see De Zerbi in there was the second favourite. And I was just thinking, oh, that's an FSG appointment kind of thing. I can imagine them going for him. And then he's gone out to the third favourite. But he's remained in there. And it just makes me wonder if it's not FSG that's bigged him up somewhere along the line. And maybe because people knew what was going on behind the scenes or what they were trying to attempt with Edwards and Richard Hughes, maybe there's been some chatter somewhere and De Zerbi's names kept coming up. Or certainly, maybe not thrown into the running, but certainly, reiterated or discussed somewhere along the line. Does that even make sense? So, because I've always wondered why De Zerbi is so short, on the betting, in the betting markets, but don't always go about it, not with football at all. So you've got Alonso is still the short favourite, the favourite. Ruben Amorim, who would be my choice if we didn't get Alonso, his second favourite. He was obviously at one point about 10 out, came down once significantly, and then right into the second favourite. This is with Bet365, by the way. Third is De Zerbi. Fourth is Nagelsmann, which I can understand. And then fifth is Pep Lijnders. Pep Lijnders is still in there. And I think maybe one of my last videos or most recent videos was about Pep Lijnders again. I see Pep Lijnders as being in the running. I do. But only if things go wrong and they can't get a primary target. So if you're not a Pep Lijnders fan, I wouldn't be too concerned about that. Alan Brazil had said on the radio, or had insinuated or said, I can't remember the exact quotes. He said something along the lines of Liverpool players want Pep Lijnders to take over. I wouldn't pay any attention to Alan Brazil on that. It doesn't mean that he's not right. There's bound to be support for Pep Lijnders within Squad, as Rafa Benitez would say, hey, for sure. But I don't think that the players have, collectively come together and said, we want Pep. I don't believe that. And what would Alan Brazil know anyway? So maybe the Richard Hughes admiration for De Zerbi explains why he's still in there. Maybe. But I was bringing it to your attention. Maybe you don't know that Richard Hughes has tried to appoint him as a manager before. So it's worth just considering. I still think it's Alonso's to throw away or to fuck up, if you like. There is still a planned meeting, apparently, between Bayer Leverkusen and Alonso. That'll be a last attempt to get him to change his mind. So I would always be a bit squeaky bum until that's passed. We're hearing that, or we heard recently, I've got a notification on the screen. I think one of the last updates that we had was that Alonso's camp had filtered it back or fed it back to Liverpool Football Club that Alonso would like the job. But I don't think, just because he wants the job, don't mean he'll get it. But I think that after that stage, you then start talking about what would the package be, and not just a personal package. I don't think that's really would be important to Alonso. I think it'd be more along the lines of under the conditions he'd be working in. Edwards has returned, not directly to Liverpool Football Club, but is still a key player. Well, he's a very important person within the organisation, the FSG organisation, over Richard Hughes. And I think if I was Alonso, I'd be saying, right, what's the crack? He wants more power. He wants to overrule. Maybe wants to pull rank on some things. We know, or were led to believe, that Edwards thought Klopp was too powerful. Well, maybe Alonso's old school and thinks, well, I should be calling the shots. So the Edwards appointment could change things. It really could. And Alonso then might sit down and go, do you know what? No, fuck it, I don't want it. I'm not working like that. I'm not trying to put fear out there or anything. I'm just trying to be grown up, which is unusual for me, and just thinking about things. Don't just make assumptions, things can change or whatnot. But as I've always said, I think the longer there is silence, the more likely it will be Alonso. Because if Alonso was definitely not part of this process now, I think we would then be seeing maybe Amorim, articles about him every day, not just speculation, but the reason, things like how Ruben Amorim, lines up his teams and stuff like that. And we're not really seeing that at the moment. And the clique of LFC journalists are not saying anything. So even they're struggling to come up with something. And then your big journals, the only ones you should pay attention to, Joyce, Ornstein, we listen to what Fabrizio Romano has to say, depending what he's talking about. But specifically with regards to Liverpool Football Club, Ornstein and Joyce are the only two that you need to listen to. It's a waste of time listening to any others, in my opinion. But that's only my opinion, Nobody's saying anything. And I think the silence is good. I think it's good for us. I really do. So you've just got to keep an eye on what's happening with Bayer Leverkusen and the Bundesliga and see what's what. At the end of the day, I just want it all to be wrapped up. Because honestly, I'm like you guys, I'm fucking sick of talking about it. And I know some smart ass will say in the comment, well, why are you talking about it then? Well, because that's why we're here. We have no option. We can't pick and choose the topics. We have to talk about things. And the reason for this video is it is slightly different because some people won't know that Richard Hughes has previously tried to appoint DeZerbi. So they might be interested in that, you know. So anyway, that's that. That's all I got to say on that front. No change in the betting odds, which isn't surprising. Nagelsmann's still in there, which I think you should pay attention to things surrounding him. But yeah, no real change overall opinion-wise for me, I think, with regards the managerial situation. But I will say it again. I think now that Edwards has come back into the club and there has been structural changes that, you know, Alonso, I don't know about you, but I'd be going, all right then, so what if there's a situation where I'm not agreeing with something? Is he going to overrule me? And it depends how you are, you know, how much you, I suppose, how much you want the job and how proud you are as a person. Like, I'm not going to go and fucking work for anyone if someone's pulling rank over me. Do you know what I mean? Unless they're John Henry or something like that. You know, if it's coming to player contracts, player acquisitions, or even sales, then as the manager, I want fucking, you know, the say on this. And that's what we're led to believe has been an issue between Edwards and Klopp. And another thing, I'm sure I've mentioned Pep Lijnders today, and I'm sure it's in this video. You know what my memory's like. Another thing that might prevent Pep Lijnders actually coming into the fold if things did go wrong with Alonso and Amorim, for example, is the fact that Edwards is now back within the organisation. So lots to chew over, guys. The reason for the video is to tell you about the Richard Hughes. He's a fan of DeZerbi. All right. But we'll have to wait and see. I'm not a Twitter. I was going to say ITK, but it's IDKs now. We call them IDKs. Yeah, IDKs. Right, I'm off. If you appreciate the video, not if you necessarily agree with what I'm saying, but if you appreciate the video, please thumbs up. You know, that's nice to see. Please drop me a comment regarding any of this. Is there anything you've seen in the last couple of days that I've been missing that you want to bring to my attention? Has your opinions changed at all? How do you feel at the moment? Do you still think it's Alonso's, or do you think it's Amorim, Nagelsmann, or something like that? Would you agree with some of the things I'm saying, that Alonso would be like, yeah, what's the crack? You know, how am I going to be backed? Blah, blah, blah. Or is he a rookie manager and he's going to come in and agree to everything they say? He may be a rookie manager, but he's a very sought after manager. And I think he's already powerful. So I don't think he has to just go, yeah, I agree to that. I agree to that. I don't think he'll do that. I don't. And as much as he may want the job, I think he'll say, yeah, I would like the job, but you know, I want to know about the working environment, because, you know, we think it's pretty obvious that Jurgen Klopp experienced some frustration as manager. If you'd like to buy me a coffee, please hit the super thanks button. That would be very much appreciated. And if you read the video description, you'll see all the people that have bought me a coffee this year. Their name is in every video for this year. And you can find out how to subscribe to the newsletter, which is free, social media accounts. You could find out how to become a VIP member, which is the best way to support me. These are like my heroes, the VIP members. Just there's lots of information there, or you can connect and stuff. And, you know, do follow me on Twitter and stuff, you know, my personal stuff and that. I don't really tweet much about football on there, to be honest. But I do like to have the connection with you guys. All right, let me know your thoughts, and we'll speak later, guys, okay?